Have you ever had a dream that felt too big for your life? A dream you once believed with your whole heart, but over time, through pain, silence, and betrayal, you slowly stopped believing it could ever come true. If you've been there, stay with me, because Joseph's story may feel closer to your own than you expect. Joseph is still in prison when everything suddenly begins to change. One night, Pharaoh, the most powerful man in Egypt, has two disturbing dreams that leave him deeply shaken. In the first dream, Pharaoh is standing beside the Nile. 7 cows come up out of the river, fat, healthy, strong. Then, without warning, 7 other cows appear, thin, ugly, starving. And to Pharaoh's horror, the thin cows eat the fat ones. Yet after devouring them, they remain just as thin as before. Pharaoh wakes up in fear, but the night is not over. He falls asleep again. This time, he sees 7 full, beautiful heads of grain growing on a single stalk. Then 7 thin heads appear, scorched by the east wind, and once again, the thin heads swallow up the full ones. Pharaoh wakes up trembling. He summons all the magicians and wise men of Egypt, but no one can explain the dreams. The palace falls silent. Then, quietly, the cupbearer remembers. "There is a Hebrew in prison," he says. "He interpreted my dream, and everything happened exactly as he said." Joseph is hurried out of the dungeon. Picture this moment: a man forgotten for years, a prisoner, unshaven, wearing worn, dusty clothes, now standing before a king. Pharaoh looks at him and says, "I hear you can interpret dreams." Joseph answers, not with confidence in himself, but with clarity about where truth comes from. "I cannot do it, but God will give Pharaoh the answer." Joseph listens. Then he speaks what God reveals. The 2 dreams are one message. The 7 healthy cows and the 7 full heads of grain represent 7 years of great abundance. Egypt will overflow with food. But the 7 thin cows and the scorched heads of grain represent 7 years of severe famine that will follow, so devastating that the years of abundance will be forgotten. Joseph does not claim credit. He simply speaks what has been shown to him. And then he adds this: "The dreams are certain. They will happen. So Egypt must prepare." The room grows quiet. Pharaoh looks around at his officials and says, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" In a single moment, Joseph goes from prisoner to ruler, from chains to a signet ring on his hand, from a dungeon to the palace. Years pass, and then the famine comes. Just as God revealed, Egypt becomes the only place with food. People come from every land just to survive. One day, a group of hungry men arrives from Canaan, Joseph's brothers, the same brothers who once sold him. They bow before him. They do not recognize him, but Joseph recognizes them immediately. The dream he had as a teenager, the dream that led to his betrayal, is now standing right in front of him. Power is in Joseph's hands. Revenge would be easy. But Joseph chooses something harder. He chooses to test their hearts. Joseph demands that they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin. The words strike fear into them. They remember the last time they returned home without a brother, but hunger leaves them no choice. Eventually, Benjamin stands before Joseph. The moment Joseph sees him, he turns away to hide his tears. Benjamin carries their mother's face, their family, everything Joseph lost. Still, Joseph says nothing. He orders grain to be loaded, their money returned. And then, Joseph gives one final command. He orders his silver cup to be hidden inside Benjamin's sack. As the brothers leave the city, they are quickly overtaken. The cup has been stolen, the guards say. It was found in Benjamin's bag. Everything collapses. Benjamin is pale. The brothers tear their clothes in despair. By law, the one with the cup must stay behind as a slave. Once again, a younger brother stands in danger. Once again, they have a chance to walk away. But this time, they do not run. They return to Egypt. And then Judah steps forward. No excuses, no blame. He speaks of their father, of his fragile heart, of the pain of losing one son already. Then Judah says words that stop the room. Please, my lord, let me remain as a slave instead of the boy. Do not let me see my father die from this sorrow. At that moment, Joseph can bear it no longer. He has seen enough. The brothers who once sold him are now willing to give up their own freedom to save another. Joseph orders everyone out of the room. No officials, no guards, only brothers. Joseph breaks down in tears. His sobs echo through the palace. Then he speaks, his voice shaking. I am Joseph. If you want to see what happens next, when the truth finally comes out, and a family must face what they did years ago, make sure you come back for the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Thank you for watching.